See, your bollocks have shriveled.
So, I've been playing this game for over 5 years, and there are still things that I haven't seen. Yesterday, for example, I found a brief scene between Geralt and Cerys, which is arguably the most well-hidden conversation that you can have with her. Do you remember my previous video where I showed you what happens if you talk to Hjalmar after the argument with his sister?
Hjalmar, can you?
Well, it turns out that there is also something for you if you decide to follow Cerys instead. But while Hjalmar's conversation happens basically at the same spot, Cerys' alternative is much harder to catch. So, you see the general direction in which she leaves the previous scene? Well, there's a door, if you head this way, that leads to the yard or battlement, whatever this place is called. However, by the time the argument cutscene ends, Cerys is already leaving the room. Which makes her incredibly easy to miss. Additionally, if you catch it somehow and follow her, you will still have to wait a good 20 or so seconds before she descends the stairs and finally parks herself by the wall before you're able to start the conversation. Also, if you don't do this right now and go talk to Krach instead, you will never be able to get this scene with her again, which is what makes it so unique as far as I'm concerned. Finally, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only time where Cerys shows a little vulnerability, and even self-doubt. It seems that despite acting tough during that argument, it did actually affect her. So here's what she says.
Cerys.
Heard us, didn't you?
So did everyone in that room who's not completely deaf.
Hjalmar wastes his time arguing with me. And I really don't know why. Everyone says I've no chance against him when it comes to the crown.
To which you can respond in one of two ways.
You're his sister. It's natural.
We've always argued. But I thought something like this... Thought he'd show some respect. But he's just attacking me.
Would you prefer he ignored you? Refused to see you as a rival?
Perhaps you're right.
Better get back to your guests. Won't gain any votes talking to me.
You're right. Till later, Geralt.
Do you think you stand a chance?
I don't know. That doesn't mean I'm giving up. I'd never do that.
Of course you wouldn't.
It's just... After Udalric solving his grief, I thought I'd gain some respect. Thought they were taking me serious. But no. Every step of the way I have to prove I'm fit to be queen.
Better get back to your guests. Won't gain any votes talking to me.
You're right. Till later, Geralt.
I also love the voice acting by Cerys here. There's a bit of a voice crack, I guess, almost as though she's holding back tears. Let me try playing it without the ambient sounds.
I thought I'd gain some respect. Thought they were taking me serious. But no.
Okay, after that, she would proceed to slowly return back where she was and join the others who are watching the Wildkarls fight. Now it's worth mentioning that even if you don't speak to her, she apparently returns on her own, behind the scenes at some point, probably while you speak to Berna Bran, because she does later describe what happened right before the bears attacked.
His throat bulged like a blowfish, face went red, but he kept drinking. Folks started banging their tankards on the table, shouted, "Lugos, Lugos."
I'm the one.
And in case you're wondering, these events do not seem to change based on whether you dealt with the Heim the Witcher's way or you threw the baby into the oven. Now, before I let you go, let me quickly address a question that many of you asked in the comments of the previous video, and that is, what will happen if you lose the fight against the Wildkarls, but you don't have any swords to give? Well, I speculated that it may be the same as when you fight Detlaf without any swords, and it seems I was right. If you remove all the steel swords, axes, shovels, and so on from your inventory, and then proceed to lose the fight, suddenly a sword will materialize out of nowhere on your back, and you'll give that to Hjalmar.
Not so tough without your blade, which is too bad, because you just lost it.
Here, may it serve you well.
So I guess if you're low on crowns and you feel like you may lose this fight, it's better to just drop all your steel swords on the ground before attempting it. Or you can just sell Cerys if you want. And that gives you 2,000.
Is that what this was about? From the start?
No. It's always been about you. Only you.
It sure seemed like it was about the coin in there.
Cerys,
If it wasn't, you shouldn't have accepted it.
Okay, and finally, here's one more detail that you may have missed about Cerys' personal quest. And it is this over-exaggerated retelling of her encounter with the Heim, which by the way is performed by none other than Dragodar, who came all the way back from Sintra just to get killed by berserkers. Also, apologies for the ambient dialogue, I just couldn't get the other guys to shut up.
Hey, listen here. Listen well, and I shall ye tell
Brand those swords,
how
but I
Cerys
prefer me
on
trusty
Crete
axe.
tricked a demon most evil, the spectre cold and cruel. A Heim was called. For years on end he held in thrall Jarl Udalric, who could not eat nor sleep, till one day Cerys, a brave lass of
Best blade's
Skellige,
not worth shite if a weak
called
arm's
the
swinging
demon
it, eh?
White, challenged him to a duel. She went down to the land of Morhog, in whose dark corners demons dwell. Fearing neither wounds nor death, she called the Heim from its lair. The fiend squirmed and hissed.
Best
then
blade's not
sprung
worth
at
shite if a
Cerys to
weak
grab
arm's
her,
swinging it,
kill
eh?
her. But the brave lass was quicker, more clever by half. She stepped aside and with her sword ended his pitiful life. Listen here, listen well. I was there, and what I saw I now ye tell.
Best blade's not worth shite if a weak arm's swinging it, eh?
Alright, now that all of you have learned that even the best blade is not worth shite if a weak arm is swinging it, I think we're done. Thank you very much for watching, thank you for explaining what Wildkarl means in my previous video, and of course for your support on the YouTube membership as well as Patreon. Until the next video, stay tuned and be good.